Well, I caught up with the former minister this afternoon. He's blamed civil servants for halting the project and warned that 10,000 jobs could be at risk. So I began by asking him about his attack on the civil servants and whether or not he thought the project could still go ahead.
Well, absolutely. It is a matter for politicians and they have the discretion to make decisions even when civil servants don't recommend value for money. I can give you the example of the North West gas pipeline which proceeded in spite of the fact that the civil service said it shouldn't happen. Victoria Square wouldn't have happened if the minister then had taken the advice of the civil service. So I think that those are two projects which Northern Ireland people are glad went ahead. Had the civil service had their way, they wouldn't have went ahead.
So if you had still been the Minister for Arts and Culture, would you be saying to the Executive you would like this project to go ahead, even despite what the civil servants have said?
Ultimately that would have been a decision for the Executive to take because it was a cross-cutting issue. But I do think that in terms of the cost of the project, it needs to be weighed against the benefits that would come about, the public benefits, the jobs that would be created, how it would actually raise the quality of Northern Ireland to tourists and to visitors from abroad, the ability to bring business people to Northern Ireland. There are a lot of advantages to carrying out the project. Those have to be weighed against the cost of the work that's being carried out, and that's where ministers can have discretion.
And within that, you're still a big supporter of this, so you would have been saying as Culture Minister to your colleagues, let's go for this.
Well, in terms of it, interestingly, Martin McGuinness said today in his response that the other proposals for the sports stadia didn't meet the sporting organisations' needs. So as Sports Minister, you'd have the responsibility first of all to meet sports requirements and sports needs. He also quoted a figure of 85 to 96 million pounds to develop the stadia alone, and he also indicated that further infrastructure would be required to do that work. So those people who have been putting it about that there is cheap options and there's easy options, I think will be disappointed the more they look into this particular issue.
You have attacked the civil servants, but ultimately you've said the decision rests with politicians. So is your broadside against the civil servants not just simply a smokescreen for the fact that you are attacking your colleagues in the DUP and your former colleagues around the executive table?
Absolutely not, and we weren't at the point that we were able to go to make a decision. That point has not been reached as yet. All I'm doing is identifying that there are figures out there in the public domain which are not accurate, and that a decision should not be made on the basis of those figures. The basis of the decision should be on the figures that will be delivered at.
You didn't wait long to get your questions in. To some extent, we're told a computer chooses which questions come up at question time. You maybe hit the jackpot by getting question number 1 as soon as you returned to the backbenches. Did you have your question in literally the day you left office?
The week I commenced as MLA for Lagan Valley, not being a minister, I tabled 3 questions for the roll time. I've tabled a series of written questions on a variety of issues. I'll be lobbying extensively for the constituency of Lagan Valley. I'll be doing all of that as a member of the Democratic Unionist Party, as a faithful and loyal member of the Democratic Unionist Party, where I have been for over 2 decades now.
But not a thorn in the side?
No, I think that would be silly, and whenever I left government I didn't leave with any animosity or any chip on my shoulder, but I do want to see Northern Ireland move forward. I want to see projects developed. Whenever I'm talking to people in the construction industry in particular and in other industries in Northern Ireland, they're saying we need to get work in Northern Ireland, we need to be making progress, and I don't want government sitting on projects which could go ahead and instead hand the money back to Westminster, and as a consequence jobs lost to Northern Ireland and facilities lost where people can enjoy them.
Edwin Poots, many thanks.
Thank you.